Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com, and we are back with another Zap installment on the various Zap glues, their applications, how-tos, and tips with Mike from Robart. Mike, what's happening?
Hey, Jim, everything's doing well over here. It's nice to come back into the studio and talk to you again and just continue this video sequence that we got going on with all the glues. We're excited about it, and hopefully everybody's learning something new. And I know you said you have.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I was saw on a thread yesterday where somebody said, I love these Zap videos. I'm learning things that I should know. So it's like me. I think I know everything about CA, and then you and I do two videos, and I realize I know a lot less than I thought I did.
Right. And I'm continuing to learn things and do them in different applications, and you talk to different people. And I'm actually going back to, I think you said it, I'm not sure if you said this in the last video or the video before, where you said that you were fiberglassing with the thin CA. And I've actually got a demo video how to use that, how to do that process. And
Awesome.
I'll just go ahead and email that demo video if I don't have it available. I'll have to look through my YouTube channel, and because Robart has our own YouTube channel also that has the Robart products as well as the Zap products. So I could get you that one, and maybe you can share that to the rest of your group. And it's a quick, neat way of fiberglassing using CAs.
And I think what I'm going to do, I was looking at this yesterday. Once we get this one or maybe one more under our belt, in all the features that we've done on the Zap how-to, I'll then at the bottom have a link to thin, thick, Zap Gap. And so when you're reading one story, you can find all the others in one place.
Sure. Right.
That'd be awesome. All right. Well, today we're talking about something I must admit I almost never use because I go for the easy and quick. So tell us why this particular Zap flavor is important.
Well, today we're going to be talking about Slow Zap. So Slow Zap is the thickest of the bottled CAs that we have. All right, let me just go ahead and I'll just flip over to the other camera here. So this is Slow Zap, and Slow Zap is the thick glue. All right, we offer it in we have two different offerings for us. We have our 1 ounce, which is the PT-20, and then our 2 ounce, which is the PT-33. All right, they're both the same product, just in different offerings, similar that we had for Zap CA, and which is the thin, and Zap Gap, which is the medium.
Gotcha.
So it's a slow cure, high strength, and then this has the maximum gap filling formula for the liquid CAs. Right. On the back, we have the directions in here, and it talks about allowing 30 to 60 seconds of working time. So as we get multiple customers that pick these up, we have a lot of people that just fall in love with this because of the additional working time. It has that wood glue feel to it, not feel, but a little bit of working time, but then you get a little bit. You also get the speed because it is acceleratable, because it is a CA, right? And the next video that we do, I think I'm going to do gel, but after that, we're going to go into the kickers. And so this you can accelerate with the kicker.
And I haven't asked this question because I know we're going to talk about kickers, but let's say that I have a lot of glue down and then I kick the top just to lock everything down. Internally, is that glue going to slowly adhere to my surface, or how does
no, it will chain reaction through, and it'll cure down. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yes. So what I know that I have done this, and we'll talk about it in the kicker video also, is I will put a glue and then I will actually brush kicker on in certain places so that it doesn't go to all of it. And then you get the bond. You get a bond, quick bond with the kicker, and then the regular long extended time, whatever the glue offers,
right,
be it through the rest of it. So So just like, go ahead. Sorry about that.
I was going to say, so this would be in, let's say, the stick building plane process where we
Well,
need the ability to have some time to move things around.
correct. And large gap filling. Okay. And that's what I'll show you here in a second. So just to show you, same bottle type as before, where you have your cap that's welded on, and you'd flip that over and then put the cap back on. It does come with the rigid Z end tip. So we always recommend that you use your tip. So let's first talk about some of the gap filling qualities. Or actually, what I should do is I'll just put a dab of this on, and what we'll talk about is just the viscosity at first. So I'll put a drip on. So how I equate the viscosity of this is like your over-the-counter maple syrups, right? This is not for like the pure maple syrup that really runs. This is the bottled stuff, the log cabins and whatnot of the world. That's about the viscosity of this glue. Okay. And what that offers is a little bit more working time. So I'm going to go ahead and put a drip here, and I could go ahead and put these two sticks together, and then I can move them around, put them in place, take it apart, put it back together, and I go, okay, I like it there. And then what we'll do is we'll just fixture it in place. And now you have now you have about 30 to 60 seconds or so for that bond to occur. And so what this allows more time for the glue to work into and bond into some places. So you get a really good bond with this glue, right?
So would you say out of all the glues, if you're building, this would be the primary glue you'd want to use?
No. Each glue has its own purpose.
Okay.
So that's why we offer them. So when you're building, it's probably best for you to have a bottle of thin, a bottle of medium, and a bottle of the thick, so that depending on what you're building or what the situation calls for in that build, you've got the right glue for that purpose. So if we've got a really tight bond, a really tight joint,
right,
and you want to move quickly, you'd use your thin. If you got a little bit of a gap there, you might want to go with the medium. Or if for some reason it's way off, okay, then you might want to use the thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take apart this stick here a little bit. See, I'll make sure I don't take too much off of it. All right, it might be a little much. Nice thing of working with balsa, it's nice and soft, and you can.
Yeah.
It's easy to do these demos sometimes, All right. So, can you see that gap in the middle there, Jim?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I could do is I could still come across this like we did with the CA and with the Zap CA, and now because of that viscosity, that it is kind of hard to see, but that gap is filled, and there is going to be a bond between those, even though there is a little bit of air between them, and that's going to cure up. It's going to take a little bit of extra time. All right, because like we've talked about several times before, less is more, right? So you have to put a little bit of extra glue in between there, and that will get cured up.
So if we were to use thin CA, it would literally just fall through the gap because it's so viscous. All right.
Correct. Yep. And the medium will pick up the majority of them, but when you start to get into really large stuff, you're going to have to look at either slow zap or even like in our next video when we talk about gel, that will work well also. Okay. Now, the other nice thing about slow zap with that viscosity, right? When I put a drip on, okay, and it kind of hung there. So if you're working in an area and you have somewhat of a vertical to it, I can put that glue on and it's not going to run all the way down. You can see it's still just kind of hanging there. trying to get the light right so you can see the glare of that.
Right.
And it will hang there, and you can still work on that, even though you've got a little bit of verticalness to what you're trying to glue together.
Yes.
Right. So that's a lot of just the general modeling with slow zap. Now, when we get into very porous material, all right, so let's see here. I'm going to take a couple pieces here. So when we get into end grain, right, this is also another place that our thicker viscosities really come in. So if we think of end grain is basically like a sponge. It's going to soak up everything. But when I put the slow zap on, you can see that it's not getting sucked in right away, and I can now start to glue end grain together.
And then also have that time to really get it perfect.
Yep. So that's where some of the thickers come in, as well as when we start talking about adding accelerators, and that's what we'll talk about on the when we get into accelerators end grain. But if you need to do end grain work, slow zap as well as gel are wonderful for that.
Gotcha. And if you tried to use thin CA on that, you would have to put it together, go around the edge, and you would not get all that glue in there with the grain.
Correct, because at that point, the end grain will act like a sponge and it'll suck it all right through, and you won't have any glue on the surface to bond it together.
Right. Gotcha.
Also, when we talked about broken pieces, right, we do our best to try to get everything back together so it's perfect, but we all know breaks happen, shards go out. That's another great place where slow zap comes in, is we can go ahead and put that into that break and start to do your repairs, and it's going to fill in all of those larger gaps when you have a shard or something that has come apart. So that's where it comes with the build, fix, and repair, as you've seen on our catalogs and whatnot. That's where some of the different viscosities, when we start getting into more of our specialty glues, comes into account.
All right.
When we some of the other hobbies, so if we do have several other hobbyists that like to work with stone, or if we've broken our favorite coffee cup, stone and ceramics are wonderful. Slow zap and gel are the way to go. You do not really want to go much thinner than a slow zap on stone and ceramic.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because those are very porous materials. All right, and they again, the thin and the medium will just get sucked up into that porous material, and you don't have anything available for the bond. Right?
Okay. We have a lot of coffee cups that people get attached to here at the house. When they break, they come downstairs for me to mend. So it sounds like I need some slow zap.
Yep, definitely. And it is extremely strong. So if I put the bond down here and then put another piece on, and when I spin it like that, all I'm doing is trying to thin it out so that we can get our bond quicker. Again, the less is more principle with CAs. Okay. Let's see where we stand on some of so you can see here the stuff that we glued in the beginning. Okay, we're breaking the material. Let's see if this one is cured up. I know I put a bunch of glue on that. Starting to break there. Just the central section hadn't finished curing up yet. Okay, and this one is all
quick.
It's quick, yeah. So, and I did do it long grain.
It's like breaking a bone, when you put it back together, the break is stronger than the rest of the wood.
Yeah, that's right. Also, just a reminder, you want to keep your bottles clean, especially when you start getting into the thicker glues, okay? Make sure that you're burping that bottle. You empty out those tips so that you can use everything. And so you can see I'm getting glue out of that tip. I want you to be able to use what you paid for. So that's a lot of why I come back to some of these tips that go through all of our bottles. Is so I want you to get what you paid for.
Right. Use it all.
Use it all. Yep. So that's Slow Zap for you. We offer it in the 2 ounce and the 1 ounce. Your hobby shops are going to have these and whatnot. So, what else can I answer for you today, Jim?
I think that's it. I really don't think I've ever used Slow Zap, so now I know what it's for.
All right. Let me get back over here. I'm actually surprised when I go to shows, like especially Null, where we have so many builders that are there, and how many come in for a specific glue, and Slow Zap being one of those specific glues that they like. And when you start getting used to them and you work with them, you find one that you feel most comfortable with.
Right.
Myself, since I know all the viscosities, I've worked with them and I played with them, like I said earlier, I keep one bottle of each in my work area so that I've got something for each application.
Well, we have a builder section on the site, and I try to put information where the most people will find it. But I think after we get a couple of more of these handled, I'll create a feature with all the different videos, embedded. And I'll go put that over in the builder section just so everyone is able to find the information that they need to build the best that they can.
Right.
So next video, everyone, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can check it out when it comes on, is gel.
Yep.
Which is even slower than slow, right?
It is. It is our slowest. It is our thickest. It does come in a tube. So we'll be talking about that one next week.
All right.
And if anybody's got questions, Robart, House of Balsa, and Frank Tiano Enterprises, Carol over there, all of us are available to help you out. Just don't hesitate to shoot us an email, give us a call, and just let us know what you need, and we'll get you taken care of.
And then up right here on the Robart page is the Zap app and all the different Zap glues that you might need and more videos.
Yeah. So, Jim, why don't you go ahead and show them that Zap app real quick since you're right there. It's real simple. Just hit that drop-down menu on the left side. You pick a material, pick any material. So doing wood to pick the next one to wood. Zap Gap is your main pickup there. And we've even gone pretty specific in some of those. So foam to wood, foam to foam. And then we've even got some of those like balsa wood is in there, fiberglass fabric, some of the RC builders. Yep. Some of the RC builders will really nice that leather to leather. There you go.
Hey, this is awesome. I had no idea.
Yep. It's right there.
But, like my son will bring a plastic gaming pedal down that he's broken in half. And I'm like, it's probably impossible, but let's see what I have. So this would come in super handy.
Yep. Plastics and
yep. Wow, you got it all.
We did our best. We spent a lot of time on doing that and getting the programming down and whatnot. So hopefully that's very helpful for everybody out there.
All right. Crazy. Well, everybody, we've been hanging out with Mike from Robart. As always, man, I appreciate your time and talking to us. And I'm excited to do the next one.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jim.
Have a good one. Mike from Robart, Jim T. Graham, rcgroups.com. Thanks to all our users, posters, and watchers. Bye.